Good to be back.
Oh, feels so good.
I've been waiting for this glass of wine.
You ready for the intro, bro? Are you ready?
Let's do this.
What has been a month off? Let's see if you still got it.
Yeah.
Me too, man. Let's see. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hector Nilo, and I'm joined by these wonderful gentlemen, Ian Lufitha, Intuneric, and we got Joe behind the camera doing his thing. And welcome to The Bottom Line, where we learn, grow, and connect through topics about fashion, business, finance, life in general, and just this whole world around us, man. It's quite beautiful. I don't know what the fuck else I say next, bro.
It's all good, man.
I think
That was a good intro.
That's it.
Yeah, that was.
I think that's it. You introduced us. You didn't say
Yeah.
where we're at though, but I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuck the sponsors.
Yeah. We're not,
We'll be talking about our sponsors soon, bro.
yeah.
For sure. Yep. That's going to be one of the topics, buddy. Thank you. All right.
so we cutting this thing or we didn't?
No, that was a very
We
good
got to
intro.
keep going. We got
That
to
was a
keep
very
going.
good intro, man.
We got to keep going.
Let's do this.
First things first, though, before we get into our topics, I do want to shout out.
Wait. Let's cheers first.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah.
gotta do this.
Cheers.
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 Water. Yep.
Well, that's how you're losing that 20 pounds, bro.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
What were you saying?
Before
Shout
I
out.
was interrupted.
Yeah, my bad on
No,
that.
you're good. You're good. I want to shout out two of our loyal listeners. First off, shouts out to Gabe Goddison.
My boy.
Yes, sir. He actually sold 2 of his shoes with us this weekend over here at Low End.
Yep.
And he's actually trying to start his own little business.
Yep.
And those are some funds going towards that. And honestly, bro, good luck to you. And I hope you get that done.
Yeah. And
Get it going.
You got to check out his sushi. It's fire.
He said he
Yeah.
listens to the podcast too. So
Straight up.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. And shouts out to JP Sandano. Stopped by the shop from Toronto this weekend. A loyal listener of ours as well. This glass is on you guys.
yeah.
Cheers,
to y'all.
cheers.
Thank you.
All right.
What wine are we drinking today? This one.
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't know where the bottle went. Yeah, it's red wine.
This is some Italian one.
It's a Valpolicella Mazzi.
Mazzi.
Is it 26?
I'm talking Mazzi like the rapper.
Fucking
Fuck.
Wasi. No, my bad. That was corny.
Mazzi, I don't know. 2017 Valpolicella, something
Nice.
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. And then, had this one in the fridge since last time. And the Cathedral Cellar.
Okay.
We're going to get fucked up.
Yep. Perfect
Perfect.
wine for Sunday.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So today, on the bottom line, we're going to be talking about reopening weekend over here at Low End. We're going to be talking about nerd beef with Apple and Facebook.
Tim Cook versus Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And then we're also going to be talking about stonks with the financial pastor, Raz.
What up, dude?
Say your prayers, yes.
Halo.
Say your
Hey,
prayers.
add the Halo theme music in.
Please. And we'll also be talking about one of our inspirations here throughout life, Jay-Z
Yep.
and
That's
Moet
big.
and what he was doing with that company.
You got a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, he's got a partnership. Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see how this bag works out. I'm sure
Exactly.
Jay-Z's not making deals unless he's making money.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's good.
Yep,
I'm sure
exactly.
he's good.
All right, so let's get into it,
Let's
man.
do it.
Low end reopening, Ian.
Yeah, so
How'd you enjoy it?
before we even go into that, let's talk
Okay.
about how nice the store. Joe, can you is that in the view in the back or no? Okay, so
Some B-roll.
yeah, Joe will put some B-roll of the new store in here, man. It's looking real nice. Like you guys
Thank
got
you.
so much more space. You probably can see some of the background just through my camera, but so much more space in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, come see for yourself. Visit-
365 Palisher Street, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
You know the address? I do not.
Yeah, man. It's we've been shut down obviously since like December, middle of December, and we were talking as a team like, what do we want to see, from the store, from the business,
Yep.
once we reopen, and we're like, yo, why don't we switch some stuff around in the shop? Because you really pushed that idea at first, right?
Yeah.
Why did you want to like switch it up?
The biggest thing was it was a little disorganized. Stuff was kind of not everywhere, but there wasn't like a certain section we could point to, especially our sneakers. All our sneakers are just there. Look at the sneaker wall back here. Literally, that's all the only place where all the sneakers are, and it's so much better for consumers to kind of just go to one place if they're looking for one thing.
Yeah.
And even our vintage is just kind of in that corner over there, right behind Raz. Everything's in one place. It's so beautiful, man. So beautiful. That middle rack we took down.
Yeah, it just creates a lot more space.
Yeah.
Like,
And you can see the customers.
honestly, I just feel like we gotten better at designing a store, laying out a store. I think we all kind of, whether we do it like subconsciously or consciously, we kind of recognize where people kind of go when they come in. And I think that shaped what we wanted to do with like this new layout in terms of putting all the clothes in one area, putting the sneakers in one area, and kind of creating like a better pathway, I would say.
Yeah.
Like throughout the store, so people can kind of see everything in like
in an organized way.
Organized way.
I saw
orderly
it
way.
this weekend, bro, where if a person wanted to check out the sneakers,
And
they'll start there and then kind of make their way around the whole store.
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? And it's pretty nice to see that's already happening first day back, you know.
For real. Like, honestly, it was just good to be back open and seeing some of the faces that we used to see earlier last year now, because it's a brand new year. It was just good. Like, the energy was great Saturday. The energy was great today. Just felt really good to be back, man. I really can't complain, and hopefully it's just like
It's gonna compound,
momentum. Yeah, we keep going for the rest of the year type of thing.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
So what are some of the new rules or guidelines that they gave you guys? Like, is it the same that we had a couple months ago, or has anything changed up?
A little pretty similar. Doing like 6 to 8 customers instead of 10 now.
Okay.
All depending on how many people are here.
Yeah.
Obviously, still sanitize on your way out and inside, and when you come in, on top of wearing masks whenever you're in here.
So
People say it a social distance, but
yeah, when there's a lot of heat on the sneaker wall, it's like
you got to grab what you can get. You know,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
So no, businesses can do as much as they can, right? At the end of the day, it's up to the customer too. If he wants to take on the risk of coming into the store, it should be all on him, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, you guys can do as much as you can, and if the person feels safe to come in, great, good. You've made it that way. But if not, that's their choice. They don't have to really come in here. They can go online. They can go to all your other aspects of
our business and everything like that. Like, our online store is still doing the same stuff that we were doing prior. So if you're not comfortable coming in, that's fine. You can order online. We could deliver it to you if you're in our area, or we can ship it out. That does not change. But what we've missed really is just like the in-store interactions, people coming in, and we could, chop it up. You don't have to come in here and buy anything. Just come say what up, see what's good, check out the new layout, let us know what you like. You know what I mean? Like, that's all valuable to us. So
for sure, it's customer feedback.
Word. And
companies pay thousands of dollars for that.
They make it so easy for us, like we were saying earlier. Even content-wise, it's so much easier to kind of put things out when people can actually interact with you in person.
For sure.
Like,
For
amazing.
Yeah. No,
Shouts out.
You guys have figured out kind of like that nice median, right?
Yeah.
A year ago, you didn't even have an online presence other than Instagram.
That's crazy.
And now you guys have had to make a bunch of shifts, and it's all come up for the better. Like, this is what I was saying initially. This is what businesses have to do in a downturn. They have to constantly innovate and improve. If you're not doing that, you're going to get either not make any money and have to close down shop, or you're going to get bought out by somebody who is. And like, that's just the name of the game. Got to always be improving. And that's what you guys are doing, and it's working.
Yeah, like, it's really like 2 shutdowns later to see like what we've been able to do. Like, it's really, really dope. You know what I mean? Like, we've worked hard, and people have continuously supported us at the same time. So again, to be back open, it's just like super blessed, feels so good. And we're just ready to keep working, to be honest.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited, fam.
You felt it between like the 4 of us, owners of the store. Like, we're
Going
just
crazy at home.
Yeah, we're just ready to. We want to keep
ready.
working, man.
Yeah, we ready.
We want to keep working. Like, again, feels so good to be back.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the entrepreneurial spirit at its finest. You can only hold it down for so long until It's coming back up.
They have to let the dogs loose again.
Yeah, exactly.
Open up. We were trying not to be contained, DMX style.
We right here. we were cooped up for too long, man.
Yeah.
Like we definitely felt it.
For sure.
It was I don't know. Joe was saying that this quarantine period was tougher on the mental than the prior.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that it was tough just to stay at home and try to keep yourself busy and sane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hard year.
It really has. It really has.
I've hated it. Yeah.
Are you still going on your trip?
To
Hawaii?
that had to get canceled. My buddy. So, actually, funny story about that.
No.
So we were gonna go to Hawaii, and then Justin Trudeau put in those new hotel rules of if you come back, you got to stay in those those coronavirus hotels that pretty much is gonna guarantee you coronavirus. 'Cause if there's one person in there that has it, everybody's fucking gonna get it. So it's pretty much just a death trap if you're gonna come into the country. And then I'm like, is it really worth spending all this money on these like $300-400 on hotels? Two of the guys in the group were like, yeah, it's worth it. Like at the end of the day, we can just say no. Like we're Canadian citizens. They can't like force us to stay in these hotels. We have places that we can go to, and like we have our houses that we can quarantine into. If they give us a fine, they give us a fine. We can go to court. It's unconstitutional. This thing's going to get thrown out. So is it really worth all that effort to go on a trip, or do we kind of just postpone it till next year, right? And it's kind of come to we're just going to postpone it till next year. Not because of the rules or anything, but because our one buddy that was going to go with us is going to Nepal for 3 months now. And he's just going to go hiking in the mountains for like mountain climbing
Find himself.
Yeah, well, not fine. He knows himself. He lives in the Rocky Mountains. He just needs to get out of like Canada in general. Like just have some time to de-stress. You know? Like
fair enough.
So he's just gonna take like a mountain climbing like program, and it'll like accredit him around the world. It's like one of those diving programs, you know, like you learn how to do it. Like he's going in the Himalayas. Like it's gonna be sweet. So
that's dope.
That's sick.
So no Hawaii for Raz.
No Hawaii, maybe Florida. We'll see.
Ooh, okay.
I need to get some sun. That's
I heard Miami's popping this time of year.
Yeah.
So
trying to go back to live, get a nice Rolls Royce, go down South Beach. Don't laugh, it's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen,
bro. My birthday's in 2 weeks. I gotta pop off. I gotta do something.
Oh, I'm gonna
the stocks are talking. So
exactly.
Stonks.
It's the stonks.
Oh man.
So what's this nerd beef all about?
Nerd beef.
Yeah.
I love nerd beef. Is funny to me, but
Why?
yeah, I don't know, cause it's nerd beef. Ever heard of two nerds beefing? Do you know what two nerds would beef about?
Computers.
Privacy, data,
There you
math,
algorithms,
algorithms,
You
and
said it
fucking
right
calculations and all of it, man.
all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff you really stayed awake during high school for.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's not some like, it's not LeBron and Kyrie beef. This is some real Zuckerberg versus
This is billionaire beef.
Billionaire beef. Tim Cook and Mark Zuckerberg honestly have been kind of going at it for the past like maybe longer than that, but like month and whatever. And it's basically like they're beefing about data, which is to make this whole story a little shorter. Facebook wants to collect as much data as they can about their users and customers, and Apple's trying to prevent that. Facebook needs data so that they could sell their product, which is ad spaces and ad product to businesses, small businesses, and all of that. And Apple is on the consumer side where they don't want people tracking their information. And
Quotations, consumers.
They want to protect our data. They don't want third parties being involved in, tracking us wherever we go on the internet and stuff like that. So this is kind of brewing up to be an important battle because, Facebook's been in court over the last year over a bunch of data issues.
Yep.
And Apple's basically not restricting Facebook apps, but they're not allowing Facebook to track their customers.
Yeah. Like they did the same
in
thing
the
with like
internet.
Google and stuff. Like that's why they made Apple Maps, because Google Maps would take so much of their users' data. Like Apple Maps wasn't as good as Google Maps, obviously, because it doesn't have such a high data array that it can make those quick processing decisions. But
Yeah.
they made a product all on their own because they try to prevent that. Well, every site is a two-side story, right? If you get more people off Google onto Apple Maps, you make more money off maybe the potential advertisements, but you can sell it as, we're going to protect your data.
Yeah.
Come to our platform, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Which is pretty interesting. And, Facebook was saying they're trying to do this to help small businesses and other businesses trying to advertise on Facebook's, platform, Instagram, Facebook,
Right.
WhatsApp, whatever it is. And a lot of people are saying that's BS. But I just think it's an interesting battle because data and privacy has just been a huge topic in tech for the past 2 years, 3 years. As a small business ourselves, we advertise on Facebook and Instagram, so we kind of get the perspective of those two perspectives as a consumer, where obviously we don't want to be tracked, spied on throughout, all over the internet. But at the same time, we do leverage what Facebook has to offer in terms of all the information they could collect on.
no,
possible
even the
customers
fact
and
that you
stuff
can
like that.
you can have like one ideal client that you like, and you could tell Facebook, find me clients like this. Like that's a huge feature.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want 25-year-old male and females that like nice sneakers or nice vintage clothes. Find me only clients like this.
Yeah.
Like, without them doing all that stuff, you can't
Market
you can't.
properly,
Yeah,
right?
you can't. Well, you can market, but you're just not as well
It's
as
not
accurate.
it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Yes. Not as much conversion as you would.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what do you guys think? Is it whose side are you siding on? Where it's like, Facebook's obviously on the business side where they're trying to make most of their revenue comes from ad dollars, and they're trying to, push that. Or are you on the consumer side where Apple's trying to protect, that data and that information from these big businesses? Because again, going back to, I'm gonna let you guys talk real quick, but going back to that Social Dilemma Netflix
that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah,
doc that your privacy and your data is like the most valuable thing we have to offer to these businesses. So where do you guys stand in this nerd beef?
It's definitely tough because as a business owner and marketer, I see the benefits of Facebook's side where we could clearly just market to who we really need to. That's something that we need to do as a business better, for sure.
Yeah.
And that feature alone would help us so much better. It'd be so easy to push ads, push our product to certain consumers that we know are going to buy our product. We don't have to waste dollars advertising to
people that aren't interested.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I see that side, but then personally too, you're going to be bombarded with stuff that's going to attract you and keep you on these social platforms, which I hate personally. But then, it's a tough balance, right?
It's always a give and take, right? Like,
I'm not too sure personally.
Yeah, but this issue's been brought up, and I've seen them like bring up these questions to like a pool of like a think pool, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of like, man, I don't really care. Like, I put all this shit out on Facebook anyways. Like, oh, great, they can recommend me the product that I need. I'm all for it, Like I'm all for giving them my data and stuff like that because they make my life at the end of the day a little bit better, If Google knows every single time I walk into my house, it turns on my thermostat, that is a feature that I enjoy, and I don't mind getting tracked and it knowing that I'm coming out of my car and I'm pulling up to my house 3 minutes before I pull up to my house so I can turn on the
5 minutes away,
warm it up, like
de-thaw the chicken.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
chicken.
Yeah, so it's like eventually that's going to be happening. You're not going to need to call your kids 6 times that day to tell them to remind them.
I always forgot.
I never took the chicken out.
Man, remember like
turn off the Xbox real quick.
Turn off the Xbox, turn on the microwave. I got to do this quick. Hit that defrost section. I got to do 10 hours of defrost in 30 seconds.
Mom gets home like,
what the fuck is this shit? I can't cook for 3 hours now. I'm hungry.
That's hilarious. So I'd be looking out the window so I was scared.
Just bugging.
Yeah.
She here?
Oh, man.
So for those kind of things, to make your life a little bit better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
automate some certain stuff, but Google now has to know your kind of daily schedule, where you are at all times. You don't want it to be like just following, okay, at 3:15 she should be here. You want it to be like, okay, I've got this tracker on her phone. Normally at 3:15 she's here, but it looks like she's doing grocery shopping today. Let's not turn on the heat because she's not close, you know? So at the end of the day, like, there's always going to be benefits to them having this information, and they'll always sell it to you in a way that has benefits, right? But there's always going to be the other side too. You're always getting tracked, you know.
Someone could find you.
Yeah, it's 1984, just dressed up in a nice, we're going to make this easy for you kind of fashion, you know? And based on to go to your question, what side do you stick on? I think if Apple made more money on advertisements, they wouldn't say shit about this. I think Apple just knows they're going to make money on iMusic. They're going to make money on their services. They don't make money on ads.
Yeah, they don't need Apple, was it Maps or whatever it is?
Yeah, they don't need that. That's just a project, you know, like whatever. If they were making money, if they were Google making most of their money off advertisements as opposed to the App Store, they wouldn't say shit about advertisements. They're just coming out on this because they look like they're for the consumer. But they don't need your data like that. Like, they're not making analytical decisions on that. They know you're going to buy the next iPhone because they've already trapped you in that ecosystem, and you've got an Mac, and you've got an iPad, you've got an iPhone. You're not switching. Like, you're already stuck. They don't need analytics to tell them that. They already know that. So if I don't see Apple saying, oh, we should tax profits on Apple stores or on app stores, they're not ever going to be for that. And if Facebook starts saying that, I guarantee you they're going to be like, fuck Facebook even more. Like, these CEOs know how to use the media and how to use people's public opinion in their direction, right? If they have nothing to lose, I can just go and say whatever one of my biggest competitors is doing is bad. You know, we were talking about why Bill Gates and Warren Buffett don't talk about Bitcoin.
Or why Elon Musk is talking about Bitcoin.
Exactly. So it's like, there's always going to be, everybody's got an enemy. Like, everybody's got somebody that, you know, if you can say something and the media and the public agrees with you and they lose a couple $1 billion because of what you said, great. It's just business.
Just business and a couple billions.
Big billions.
To go along with it. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I just, in this age of the privacy, data, and how much of that information, like how valuable that information is, I just think that it's just a good topic to keep your eye on, see what's going on. Because, again, Facebook's been in courts and a lot of these tech companies have been in court for
antitrust issues.
For a bunch of that stuff.
Well, Apple's been in court too for its Apple Store. Like, when it had all those games that have those in-game purchases. And they pretty much give you like a free app, but they make all their money based on the in-sale apps. Apple started taking a lot of those apps off because they never made money on those in-store or like in those in-app sales. So they just banned that thing off the product, like off the platform, you know? So Apple makes decisions like that all the time too. Like, they're almost $1 trillion company, if not $1 trillion company. They do shady shit too. Like, what's going on in China is a completely different story. They're not going to talk about that anytime soon.
So Jack Ma's out here.
Yo, let's keep Jack Ma out of this episode.
Yeah, we may have somebody on the CCP saw our episode.
Let's we hadn't seen it. Saw it before it came out on Joe's laptop. Fuck.
We didn't. I wanted to ask you about what do you think? Because obviously it's been a few months now, that maybe a month that we didn't record an episode, but the whole Robinhood situation, they've been in court last week for what happened with the whole GameStop stock. The CEO was on trial or whatever. I wanted to hear what you think about that whole situation of them. Like,
I think it's fucking criminal. That's what I fucking think.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that after the break. No, it's fucking criminal, bro. You can't do that kind of shit. That's fucking ridiculous. Robinhood would sell. This is why I really wanted to record 3 weeks ago, because I could have gone a whole hour and a fucking half on this shit. Man, it was ridiculous. And the nice part is GME came back this week.
Went up.
Diamond hands for life.
Yeah, shouts out GME. I'm gonna go sell my games over
for $5.
50 cents. Come on, G.
Yeah. Oh, but no, that's the nerd beef. They're just fighting over our privacy.
Yeah, they're just fighting over privacy and data.
Whose side are you
No,
on?
no big deal.
You didn't even say your thing.
Facebook.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Let's go.
Dollars come
Facebook.
first, eh?
I guess, yeah. I'm
Man,
trying
at
to
the
make
end of the
some-
day, they're always going to sell it to us in a beneficial way. Like,
Yeah.
they're always going to be like, we need this data so your life can be easier.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
they don't give a fuck if you're buying this
You know-
and that and the other thing. Like, you're not that important, man. Like,
yeah.
you're really not that important. And that was the thing that I had to tell myself, because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, fuck
Like,
Mark
what type of-
Zuckerberg, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck that guy. Like,
If you were not to, like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's just the environment that we're in now in 2021.
Yeah.
It's the way we live our lives. Like you said, it makes our lives a little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Yep.
You know, we don't even think about it, but it really, really does. Like, even the smallest things that save us time, makes us a little bit more money, or whatever it is based on data or whatever. Like, it's based on that information that we give these people. And I know people want to protect that, and it's very valuable, but honestly,
Fuck
like,
it.
yeah, like they're gonna collect whatever they want to collect at
man,
the end of
pe-
the day,
Exactly.
until people stop putting pictures of their kids on the internet,
you know.
you've got no right to talk about privacy. You've given your privacy rights away.
Yeah.
Word.
Don't put your whole fucking life on Facebook. And
People don't even read the 3-page long
Yeah, they just say accept.
the
accept.
terms.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
terms are not
agree.
3 pages, bro.
It's
terms
like
are not 3
48.
pages.
People don't read the
I don't think you
terms.
could read that in a lifetime. I think the
If it's
lawyers.
so long that
Yeah.
You don't even want. There's a great documentary called "Terms and Conditions May Apply."
Yeah.
Check it out.
Okay.
Like
Alright.
you probably have to hire like 6 law firms just to read the terms and conditions in a year. Like,
Yeah.
just so you can get. Like, there's no way you can do it in
And
a
if you say
lifetime.
decline, have fun on that, because you
You're,
probably
no,
won't
you,
get-
they'll,
you won't-
they'll be like, okay, you declined. Sorry, you can't use
yeah,
the product.
You can't use the product. That's what. So have fun.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy without us, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on Facebook side. I just thought it was cool, interesting. Maybe that Apple was coming against it, but I think Raz put it in a great way. These companies are gonna collect their data.
Regardless,
Apple isn't in a position that they're gonna profit off of that as much as Facebook, obviously. So it makes sense for these guys to kind of go at it. So I'm taking Facebook side. I want to market my product to
to the world.
the very, very
Strict niche you got,
strict
niche.
niche.
but all around
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, because even if you think about it in our sense, it's like not everyone is interested in vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
We already serve a very niche product in the city, and if you just expand that nationally or globally, it's like, again, not everyone that wants to buy a piece of clothes or wants to buy sneakers wants it to be a used pair or a vintage article piece. So it's important to be able to, at least as a business point of view, it's important to be able to target exactly who you want to target.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
My
Mark
land
Zuckerberg,
stands with Facebook.
have good luck in court. Hopefully.
Straight up.
Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who's more likely to be a lizard person?
Mark, 100% Mark.
For sure, Mark.
100% Mark.
The question was
Out of
Tim
Mark
Cook
or
or
Tim?
Mark Zuckerberg. Who's more likely to be a lizard person?
A lizard person.
Yeah.
Mark, 100%, bro. This
Look
guy
at his
doesn't
eyes.
even, this guy doesn't even talk full sentences when he talks to Congress.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember watching a documentary, and
Easily Mark for me.
it is Mark, because I was watching a documentary and they were like, they were saying something like, we had to train this guy to be able to talk in front of the public for like
in regular sentences, yeah,
That's
not
crazy.
without sweating and like,
CMP input.
Eyes blinking.
They just vibrate.
Train him to not blink like a fucking
oh shit.
That's crazy.
No, the cool guys are definitely working at Apple, so that's Tim Cook and
The cool guys.
real
The
real-
cool nerds.
The cool nerds, yeah, the ones. The rest are working at Facebook, so
Nerdy beef, bro.
Yeah, man.
big nerdy beef.
Word.
All right, so we got.
The break time?
Yeah.
Finish your
Break
glass,
time.
bro. Come on.
He's not gonna be able to talk if he finishes the next class.
That's okay.
I'm talking Jay-Z. Definitely talking.
All right,
Talking
break
Ace of
break time.
Spades and LVMA.
And we're back. Welcome to the bottom line. And this episode is brought to you by the good people over at Low & Co, where you can get premium vintage, the latest and fuck Thank you, Ian.
Just keep going.
Keep going, bro.
God, bro.
You guys aren't gonna take your ad off, so it doesn't matter. You can fuck it up as many times as you want.
The latest in streetwear and sneakers and more over here at Low End Co. 365 Palliser Street in Windsor, Ontario. And follow us on Instagram at lowendco_. And as well as check us out on lowendco.ca where you can find our inventory. Thank
Our
you, Low
selection.
End.
Yeah.
Yeah, selection, whatever. Fuck, I haven't done that in a while. Fuck. Oh, shit.
Rusty,
Well done, man.
Rusty.
Oh, Rusty.
We're here to support you.
Yeah,
That's great, man.
full support.
Straight up. When I'm going through my traumas, you guys are here. Like, thank you.
Escapades.
Not as many escapades now, but
It's good.
Definitely not.
it's been lockdown.
So
No
many-
more escapades for Hector.
Word. Sober for 2 months, ladies and gentlemen. Feel fucking great. That's it. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Can't do it, but good for the boy over here. 2 months sobriety.
Cheers to that.
Nope,
Water.
not cheers anymore. I'm gonna get you some grape juice for next
I'm
episode.
down.
Nah, we need to get us some Ace of Spades for that.
Oh, you gotta break the fast. You gotta break the dry spell.
If the Ace of Spades is coming out, I'll break the fast.
Come on, man. Some
All right.
champagne and that. Gold bottles.
Hove, we need you to send us one. You know.
All right.
If Hove sends a bottle here right now, you're drinking from that.
I'm gonna take it home.
I think we're gonna have to all split
Yeah,
that 4
exactly.
ways. You get it for a week. I get it for a week. You get
Word.
Give Shorty a little sip.
Shorty's not getting it.
Shorty ain't getting nothing.
Shorty ain't getting it. Sorry.
She'll get the Bambino.
Bambino. She's getting the Cristal. That's what she's
Okay,
getting.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one for the shorties. Shout out to all the shorties.
I think that
in
was
this
the most interesting part of that whole story with Jay-Z selling like half of his stake of Ace of Spades to or it's Armand de Brignac or whatever the
It's Moet,
official
yeah.
name is.
We've talked about them a couple times.
Yeah. But I think that was the most interesting part of the story is because a few years, like way,
Camera's gonna catch that.
Yeah, he was talking to Gam was totally good to catch that.
way back in the like a few years ago, Jay-Z was like, Cristal's brand and owner, whatever it is, CEO doesn't fuck with people of color, black people, whatever it is, people of hip hop culture, I should say.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z was like, all right, you guys don't mess with us, even though, you know, we're shouting you guys out in our music.
Mhm.
I'm just going to buy my own brand and push that out to hip hop and people that mess with me.
Right.
So we bought, Armand de Brignac, Ace of Spades for, apparently it was $30 million back in
What year?
2014.
Yeah, it was like wasn't it like a small vineyard or something in France or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but 30 million in 2014 is how much apparently he bought it for. And then this on Monday we got news that he sold half of his stake. He owned 100% of the business, sold half of it to LVMH for an undisclosed amount. We're
It's a
not too
partnership,
sure.
though, so
It's a partnership. You know, Jay-Z still owns 50%. But that's big. That's very, very big. Like another big chess move, business move by, you know, one of
the
biggest
goats.
inspirations.
Yeah.
Hove.
Throw it up.
Big
goat,
time.
bro.
Big
He's the
time.
fucking goat. I got the
Word
Blueprint
up.
album at my house. It's
Straight
my
up.
favorite album.
Straight up.
And it goes back to saying how, you know, Raz was, we were always kind of talking about this on the episodes, how this is the time for businesses to kind of buy into other businesses, right? Businesses go on sale, right?
Yep. Well, just think about Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is great because Jay-Z used to own those 40/40 clubs, right? So he would just sell.
I forgot about those.
He would just sell those big Magnum bottles. Like rappers used to come in, pop bottles, like 15,000 for a Magnum, like those big ass bottles of champagne. You know, he used to own the club. Plus, he used to own the drinks that he used to sell in the club, right? Like he owned the whole. It was like vertical or horizontal, whatever integration,
yeah.
right? And now clubs are closed. Jay-Z himself is starting to get into like the craft cannabis business. Like he's starting to sell Kush and all that other stuff.
The good stuff.
And yeah, like, which is a natural transition for him, right? Like, it's just what you do now. Like
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg having a weed brand is
Not off brand at all.
yeah,
Not
that's
off brand.
what it's for. Jay-Z having his own weed brand, that makes sense too. So I think he's just like, all right, time to sell out of liquor, because maybe not sell out, but like maybe let's split half the risk with somebody else, because I don't know how long it's going to be until people can go out, buy those $15,000 bottles of Ace of Spades and all that other stuff, you know. It's great when everybody's popping off, but maybe he doesn't see people popping off for the next couple of years. So he's like, let's just split the risk. Well, I'm going to go into a new venture. I've made my money on this, and, you know, I'll still own a part of it.
Yep.
And you guys can run the alcohol.
Word.
Yep.
Yeah. Big moves. Like,
Interesting to see, for sure.
No, like it's what you do, man. Like when you've got something that you've held for so long, you've nurtured. He doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
He's got all the other stuff. I think him and Drake are getting into gaming too. Maybe I'm confusing Jay-Z into that, but I know Drake's getting into gaming.
Drake for sure is getting into that.
And I know we were just talking about like the Bitcoin fund him and Jack Dorsey set up. Like he's doing a lot of stuff. Like he's got a lot of things on his hands. Like
Rock Nation, sports agencies. A lot.
I think he's done drinking. Like I think he's at a point where he's like, "Fuck it, I've done that."
Yeah.
I know in one of his songs he's like, I piss Ace of Spades, you know, like just because he drinks it so much.
You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy, and like I think what was really very interesting for me is just in this whole story was the power of like celebrity endorsements and branding, and like a celebrity basically backing a product. You know, Ace of Spades went from $60,000 in sales in 2009, 60,000 to 500,000 in sales in 2019. So that's like the time he bought it to the time 2019. You know, that's more than
10x.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, just like you said, it's so powerful to be able to integrate your product in so many different platforms. Like you heard Ace of Spades in his lyrics, music videos. You know, you went to a 4 to 40 club. That's what they were selling. Like, it just makes so much sense. And it also makes a lot of sense for a business like LVMH to get into that, tap into that.
Customer base.
Yeah, that
customer. They already own Moet.
Exactly.
They had Biggie say, "Catch me at the back of the club sipping Moet."
Yep.
Now they've got Jay-Z and, you know.
Exactly. And then, because, again, Cristal pushed away from that hip-hop culture and those people that were drinking their product a few years ago.
Cristal's whack.
Exactly. People aren't. Yeah.
It ain't worth the money. It's not.
People are not messing with it anymore, and LVMH is like, let's leverage his brand power, his legitimacy in that culture, and let's also use our own, you know, infrastructure knowledge on.
We can bottle it up. We can do all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
So I feel like it's beneficial for both sides.
That's why it's a partnership, right?
Exactly.
If it wasn't a partnership and both sides didn't have to benefit, one would have sold to the other.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jay-Z's buying out LVMH. It's a lot more money than Jay-Z and Beyonce probably have. But if they wanted to, I'm sure they can get a backing of people to do that. But I just don't think that they see alcohol as being kind of the future. Like Jay-Z had a big portion of his wealth into the Ace of Spades. I think it was like 16 or 20% of his total portfolio. And I think he's just at this point where, you know, I'm fine with splitting this. If I'm going to be in the luxury intoxicant market, like I'll have half weed, half alcohol. Because I think that's where it's going to go. You know?
And he still owns shares in Douce.
Yep.
Was that? I think that's a cognac.
Cognac or rum or whatever, yeah.
So yeah, like he's still doing his thing.
Yep.
I just think it's crazy how he's
continuously reinventing himself.
Man, like
that's why he's a goat.
He's
exactly.
That's why he's a goat, bro.
Always got to respect people who are always
go from coke to rap to fucking entrepreneurship to whatever.
He's gonna sell us anything.
Him, Master P, and 50 Cent are like three of my biggest idols. Like Master P played in the NBA, is a rapper, fucking had his life before doing all that, ran the trap, whatever, like all that shit. Now he's a billionaire, like he's doing all this, and he's got a son, like all that other stuff. 50 Cent, same thing. Like it's definitely not a New York thing because you've got some New Orleans with Master P in there. It's not just that, like it's just the hustle, you know.
That they're able to like spread, like the influence is obviously big, right? Like we're seeing other people in music, rap, hip hop culture looking up to these people, and they're like, all right, let me get in on this action. You know, I've made a little bit of money in the rap game and the music game. Let me invest that into cannabis. Let me invest that into sports. Let me invest that into clothing or whatever it is.
Like you've seen Rick
There-
Ross, he's got his Bel Air brand of champagne.
Wingstops.
Wingstop.
Wingstops.
Yeah,
You've seen
Insane.
Gunna is like, I'm just gonna buy a McDonald's, like little basic stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, fuck buying $100,000 chain. Buy a McDonald's.
You know what? You know what was crazy? Because Bobby Shmurda got out of prison this week.
Yeah.
And shouts out to Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah. Where's
Big
that at?
shout out.
Still
But
in
he was.
space.
It's coming down soon.
I heard.
Touchdown in at least like 3
I swear one of those hats were his. You don't think so?
There's a Knicks one there, so maybe.
Yo, Bobby, you want your hat back? They got it. Couple bands.
But like even someone like him that's
Pull
so
up, please.
he's so immersed.
Be our brand ambassador, first brand ambassador.
Bobby Shmurda.
I'm down.
The photo shoot though.
Easy.
You think he get in the country with his records?
We'll go to him. We'll go to him.
That's true.
No, like there was rappers that couldn't even come in the country for.
We'll hustle him over.
Like
in a
Gucci
barrel or
Mane,
something.
Kodak
Yeah,
still can't come
yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Bobby can come.
Travis Scott couldn't.
just gotta
come
call
over
Drake.
for some reason. before.
You just gotta
He's
call
gotta
Drake.
Yeah, yo, Trudeau.
Made some McNuggets though, or whatever. Like,
Huh?
What about McNuggets?
Yeah, he did have the McDonald's on.
burger,
He did, yeah.
Travis nuggets, bro. Made out
Well,
of
even Travis too. Like Travis got into the whole.
Shut the fuck up, Drake.
it's this fucking Sicilian cellar. Or whatever.
Oh man.
Cathedral cellar.
Cathedral
bro.
cellar.
It's what the.
You didn't
prince
even
drank.
introduce the bottle.
No, we did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, earlier.
yeah.
Okay, fuck.
You
Yeah,
didn't
we
even drink the
did.
bottle and you already
That's true.
forgot.
All right.
Come on, man.
Now let me hang my head real quick. I'm back.
But yeah, Bobby Shmurda was in jail for a few years, and he was even saying I was reading books on investing
Yeah.
in real estate and stuff like that. So I just think it's cool to see where hip hop culture and has kind of progressed to. It's like I'm not only gonna buy these fancy clothes and all these cars, but I'm also gonna put my money into businesses, real estate, stocks, whatever it is.
See
like-
the same thing in sports too, because you used to hear so many stories of athletes going broke right after their 10-year
Antoine
career.
Walker.
Yep. Delonte West. All those
That's
people.
the difference.
Okay. We'll go into
That's
that.
mental illness is different than
That is
you
very
being shitty with your fucking money.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear all these
Yeah.
stories of these people going broke after their 8 to 10-year careers,
Right.
and now you see, like there's
Who's the football guy that was like, pay me in Bitcoin?
Russell Okung.
Russell Okung, yeah,
And
left
he's
tackle.
he's saying everyone. I saw one of his tweets the other day. Was like, one of the best things I ever did was get my
Paid
co-
in
yes.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
paid in Bitcoin. Everyone should try
Yeah.
start getting paid in that. So
All these people in these positions of coming from like a hustler and like a low income environment, and then eventually getting into a big sum of money. They're getting people that are good in their ears nowadays.
yeah,
which is
People
amazing to
realize,
see.
just going off that point, like
Yeah.
people have lived their whole life off $2,000-3,000 a month max.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's crazy.
That'd be great for 'em. So now you're giving them $1 million check. If they can still keep that mindset of I'm still going to live on $2,000-3,000 a month, they will never go broke.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you give them $1 million and they change that $2,000-3,000 a month lifestyle to $20,000-$30,000 a month.
they might still be living on
$2,000-3,000, but all their boys are spending $17,000, $18,000, $20,000 a month.
exactly.
Yeah, mama's asking for a new whip.
Yeah,
Which is fine, you
Yeah,
know.
which
You
is
gotta
fine.
you make those purchases once. You buy the house,
Yeah.
you buy the car for your mom, and you do it. But I'm not paying for my buddies. Fucking
it
Anything,
all comes
everything,
back
yeah.
to financial literacy
Yeah.
and just understanding how to
Mhm.
manage your money. Because
Set boundaries for yourself.
yeah, that's one thing people are not taught.
Exactly.
And like we're seeing it with everything that's going on, today with Bitcoin stocks, this that, and I'm seeing it all over social media. People are saying this is gonna be the biggest transfer of wealth in history,
Right.
because a lot of people that started with not much are gonna end up with a lot because they're, like we were kind of talking about earlier, they're kind of the pioneers or
they're on the new frontier.
new frontier. Yeah, is what you
So
were
they're
saying.
they're willing to take that initial risk to be like, you know what, I've got a couple grand, I'm okay. You know, I'll put a couple $1,000s. I see this as being a future. It's like those people that you hear about. My grandparents gave me like a Coca-Cola like bond when I was little, and that's worth like a couple $1,000s now. whatever you think is going to be there for a while, if you buy it when it's just starting, like when it's just a little seed, when it becomes a flower, you're going to experience all the fruits of that labor, you know, like,
Right.
and that's how you want to think about it. You don't want to buy flowers that have already bloomed, which is buying a stock at its all-time high. You want to buy expensive, you know, all the work's already been done. You're not going to get any growth out of it. You're just going to enjoy it, and then it's going to die. You want to buy it when it's a seed, and then check back in 10 years, and hopefully it's become a nice, beautiful plant. You know, we were talking about this earlier. Those people that trade on the day price are the ones that are going to get fucked up, because they think their flower has gone from seed to flower in one day, and then the next day it's back down to seed. So they just sell it again. So it's like they're not willing to wait that time. If you find a good project, just wait. Like,
So
there's a saying, stonks will always go up. Good stonks will always go up. Like, if you find something that's good and you see that, you know what, they're making money, they're doing all right, they got a good team, and I see this as being something that's going to be in the future, buy it and hold it. Don't even look at the price every day. Like, some days it's going to be down 10%, some days it's going to be up 20%. Great.
So the stocks you look to get into, usually, let's say you're starting off, you would tell someone to buy a stock that's like fresh or
So yeah, we were
Something
talking
that's
about this initially too.
established.
So it depends on the person you want to be, right? Like, do you want to be day trading all the time, or do you want to focus on what you're good at and have somebody else take care of it, right? Like, if you're gonna focus on doing it yourself, I was saying find that niche that you know everything about.
You were saying like 2 to 3 things.
Yeah, whether it's like, you know VR, and you know every single aspect of VR, or some, like, you know, blockchain, or whatever's going to be coming up in the future. You know every single aspect of that, and you dedicate your money that way. But if you're going to just focus on what you're good at, like whether you went to school to become a nurse or electrician or whatever it is you're better than the average person, I recommend $200-300 a month in regular contributions, because you don't have the time to sit there and be like, where do I see this going? You may pick a couple categories to be like, okay, I think VR is going to be huge in the next 5 years, but I don't know everything about VR, so I'm just going to put my $200-300 into like a VR ETF, which kind of captures that whole VR market, and you'll see great results on that, you know. Whereas if you just want to buy the whole stock market, you'll get your 6-7% yearly, but there's going to be some laggers. There's going to be some companies that go down, some companies that go up. Whereas if you focus on an industry that you know is going to be huge in the next 5-10 years, I know everybody talks about diversification. Diversify when you're rich. Focus on certain things when you're trying to make money.
Yeah. So if you're Jay-Z, make sure you're kind of diversified, which we see. Cannabis, liquor, sports, music, whatever it is. But if you're someone kind of starting out in the game, make sure you know
your hustle.
Yeah.
Look at Jay-Z. Use him as a perfect example. Knew the crack game, coke game better than everybody else. Marcy's, he ran that project. Then he took that money, invested into himself when nobody else wanted to buy. Put his record, he put it out himself. Was a Reasonable Doubt that it came out first? So put that out first, bangers. Reinvested that money back into his business, kept focusing on that. He didn't diversify. He just went from one thing that he killed into the next one, until he got to a point where I'm going to have a little bit here. I'm going to have my music industry, my Rock Nation income that's going to come and fuel all that. You know, I don't need to work, but I'd rather get extra money if I'm going to I don't want to sit at home and do nothing.
Really is the blueprint. It's the blueprint.
It's the blueprint. Yeah.
It's crazy out here. You really had the blueprint.
It's dumb crazy.
We need to get a camera on Joe for all these jokes.
All right, by next week, Joe's gonna have his Joe Cam
and his Joe Mike.
Because that was the whitest joke I've heard all week, and I've heard a bunch of them. Shouts out Matt Blair.
And you heard a bunch of them.
And Alex Pennant. Oh my god.
That green print though. Oof.
The white folk jokes. I love it though.
The green print.
Top notch.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's but that's a good transition too into the next kind of topic. Like, all these, like, the last time we were supposed to have all of us together was before. When did they put in those new lockdown restrictions?
Like January.
Like what, 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact time, but it was like when GameStop was first starting to
Poppin', yeah.
be popping, right?
Man, that already seems like fucking
A while ago.
3 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Lots has
crazy.
happened in
Yeah.
between.
Word.
I don't
And
know,
that was
while
like
I
3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the nice part is it actually came back this week, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, perfect. We could actually rerun this whole topic
Yeah,
again.
let's do
So
it.
where is it at right now? Like around like
I think it's
price
around
wise?
$100. Let me check.
That's what I think last time I saw it was like 100, like 101 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. When we were checking out with Jeff.
Yeah, it's
Nuts.
crazy.
And we
Yeah,
heard
no,
about it when
You
you
guys
told.
have any?
No.
I've played in my GME.
GME games.
Yeah, I played the GME games. My one buddy is a fucking diamond hands for life.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally sent him this meme today.
Diamond hands
I
for
literally sent him this meme today. Is the first thing that comes up. It's like, stonks you're bullish on. It's like that whole like Donald Trump the thing where he's like he's like what? He's like we just like the stock, and I'm like he's like bro, it makes sense to me. Like so like I've been giving him a little bit of advice on the side too. I'm just like okay, that's great. You want to have your little fun and stuff like that. Be part of history. I get it, but do it in a smart way. Like I think he bought it when it was like kind of dying out.
Yeah.
Like and he bought a bunch at like $70. And then I'm like, okay, because I think it was Monday or whatever, sometime this week. It was about like 3 o'clock. One of my buddies that's in one of my like chat trading groups messaged me. He's like, yo, check out GME. So me and him both know this one guy that holds a lot of GME. And we texted him. He's like, yo, your GME is starting to come back for a run again. He's like, yo, bro, I'm so excited. Like, I'm finally breaking even on this. And I'm like, all right, tomorrow, because this was like right before after hours closed, and they suspended it for the last like 15 or 20 minutes of the trading day.
Okay.
That's like it really popped. It was like up like 40 or 50%, and then they like suspended it again.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes, and I was texting him. I'm like, if they suspend this thing until like 4 o'clock, it's gonna pop in after hours. Like it's just gonna go crazy because they're doing the same bullshit again that I thought was criminal. They're doing the same bullshit again, and I'm like, everybody's gonna want to get in. Tomorrow, put your sell order for 150, break even, like make your money back, like that you put into this, plus a little extra couple $100. So it's worth your time. Maybe you can buy a shirt saying diamond hands for life, whatever.
Yeah. What's a sell order like?
Okay, so a sell order is like you put it in, and if it hits that price, it sells.
Okay.
Right. So
It's like already automated.
it's an automated kind of trading, right? So you're not sitting there being like, okay, sell.
I gotta sell
Yeah, I
now.
gotta sell that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you just put it in. It's a market order. If it hits, it'll fill.
Okay.
Right. And the stock opened up about 160, and then it dropped a
Dang.
bit, and it like suspended it again, right? And I'm like, did you set your bar order? Because I told him I'm like, set it at like 5 a.m, because like it won't open until like 9:30 when the market's open. But if you have it in there first, you'll be like one of the first people to get filled, right? And it got suspended in the first 5 minutes. I'm like, how's it going? Like, did you put in the bar, the sell order? He's like, yeah, you got filled at like 160. And I'm like, great, good. So he made his money back plus a couple extra $100. And he's like, I'm like, all right, great. You can just like apes together strong, do whatever your Reddit should, like whatever you need to do. Like you've made your money back. You've made all your money that you invested into it. You made a couple $100. Great. Go buy another fucking shirt or whatever. Put it on your wall. Put it on your put it on your wall and just say like, you know what? I was part of history. You made a little bit of money. Now let the rest ride. And if it goes down to $20, you sell the rest. Whatever.
Yeah.
But if it goes to he's saying I think it's gonna hit $1,000. Everything's lined up. And I'm like, man, if it hits $200 and you've got like what, another 20 shares, make an extra like couple grand, like whatever. Great. If you're not, you've already made a couple $100. You've made your money back. You've been on a crazy ride. You can tell your grandkids about this shit. Like, it's at the end of the day, it came out on top. Like even when I got into it, it was one of those days where it like dropped, because it would like open up really high in the morning and they get really short sold. So I like bought it up at like I think it was 120 one day, and I sold it for like 300 the next day. Like, but that was kind of like I just wanted to get a little bit of the action in, just so I can go in the future and buy that shirt and just say, I've got the trade there. I'm part of the game. Hopefully they give all of us a 5% discount when we try.
Bro, that's a great way for GameStop to give back to the
everybody who has come in and show one of your sell orders or your buy orders on GME, and we'll give you a free game.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And Splinter, yeah, and they're all
young GameStop holding their hands, and then you're holding
Yeah. That's a good
Like
one.
for all the times they cheated us out of our games.
All
They
the
always-
times they bought the PS2 games.
They bought the
for
dip, bro.
2 cents each.
They
I
bought
swear
the
they
dip.
offered
When I
me
was young.
$5 on my PS2 one
When
time.
I was
So I'm
young,
like,
I was like, whoa.
Full
Came out with the
system. $5.
come on, G.
I remember buying an Xbox. I sold in probably like 30 Xbox 360. I probably
Yeah.
sold in like 30 or 40 Xbox games plus my Xbox.
Yeah.
My thing still came to like $600. As like a 13-year-old, I'm like, I thought this would be free. Like I traded in
Yeah.
everything. Like I have nothing left of my old Xbox collection, and I maybe got $100 off.
Yeah, we're cashing in this time, GameStop. You best believe.
We're grown now. We know about stocks.
best believe.
Word,
We
man.
don't even have GameStop account.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
No, but the part that was the most criminal was,
Criminal. I love that too.
man, it is fucking criminal.
There's a lot of stuff that.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I don't use Robinhood, but even my broker fucking fucked up that day.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I had GME and I had Nokia, right? And I couldn't even make trades on those.
Wow.
And I'm like, I called them. I'm like, you literally cost me like $3,000 just by banning my trades and slowing, because
Slowing
I
the
was having,
process.
like, it was just saying having network connections, can't log in, check back in 5 minutes, you know, like,
Wow.
and it was when,
Why though?
because
Is this the whole app, or was it when you're trying to put those?
it's
orders
RBC
through?
Direct Investing.
People aren't winning.
Yeah. It's it was like one of those. Maybe it's just because there was a bunch of market orders, but man, RBC can deal with that shit. They
They
fucking
definitely
put in
can.
millions of orders every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
No, it was. This is what is the most criminal part. Fucking Robinhood gets most of its revenues from that Citadel investment, like that hedge fund group.
That shorted the.
The short of GameStop, right? And Citadel is owned by like 0.72, which is like a bigger hedge fund.
Okay.
You ever watch the show Billions?
Yeah.
You know, the redhead guy. What's his name?
Bobby. Axelrod.
Bobby Axelrod. So he's based off a character that runs 0.72.
Word.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's a real show. Like,
Okay.
so he's
And did he go to? Did he get busted for insider trading?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Oh shit.
yeah, like everything's legit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, even
Okay.
like the psychiatrist, like
Word?
yeah, she's legit too. Like
Shit.
that whole show is like super legit.
How did you watch every episode?
Yeah,
or you-
it's one of my,
Shit.
that Suits and a couple other shows are really. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
regardless.
gotta catch it.
So the whole criminal part comes in from Robinhood gets a lot of its revenues from this hedge fund, right? Because they sell their user data to this hedge fund, right? So they're pretty much saying, we've got 100 people trying to buy this stock at this price,
What?
right? Go buy the stock and sell them the stock at that price.
They're allowed to do what?
That's crazy.
They do whatever the fuck they want.
They could do that?
Yeah. So that's pretty much, they're selling.
Privacy and data, bro. It's
Yeah.
coming back, man.
Yeah.
Nerd beefs.
So there's this thing called like high frequency trading, HFT, which is like all these big hedge funds are pretty much going in and making like they're buying it for $1 and they're selling it for $1.01, you know. But they're doing it on millions of shares, so they're making a cent on a million shares, right? Which is a decent amount of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 10 million cents, which is so these high frequency traders, like they pretty much have like no risk because they know, okay, these clients are willing to buy this stock for $1.02. They can go to their other broker that's selling it for $1 because that price hasn't been updated yet. They buy it for $1 and they sell it to those clients for $1.02.
Wow.
So
Wow.
That's just 10 grand, baby.
10 grand in a second.
That's a lot of seconds.
I didn't know they were able to like.
So,
Wow.
and then because Citadel Capital had a huge short position on it, do you guys know what shorting is?
Yeah, I think we
explain it
talked
again?
about it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't on the episode.
It was on our episode.
Yeah. Okay. So a short. Let's relate it back to this.
Yeah.
Let's say there's going to be a huge Jordan release, right? They're selling for $350, but you think they're worth maybe $250, right?
Yeah.
So you call your shoe guy and you're like, hey, let me get 100 pairs of Jordans, right? You sell them on the market for $350 because you think you're going to be able to buy them back in a month for $250, right?
Yeah.
But actually, everybody loves the fucking new Jordan release. So now the price is actually $600-700,
Yeah.
right? So now all those shares that you sold, or all those shoes that you sold for $350 that you thought you were going to be able to buy back at $250, you have to now buy them at 600 because you've promised them to all those people, right? So let's say you ordered 100, but you sold 200 of them to like clients because you think it's just gonna drop and stuff. It's a general way to explain it, but they pretty much sold more than they had and then had to buy back more at a much higher price, right?
So big loss.
So they're at a big loss. They were selling it when it was like $4, and now they're having to buy it back at like $100, $200, right? So now they're paying exuberant amounts. Plus, you also pay a fee to short shit. So like now you're paying interest on the short. It was just a big loss. So what the most criminal part is, these big hedge fund guys called all these little small brokers and were like, I need you to limit the trades on this stock, this stock, this stock, this stock. Pretty much everything that we're losing money on it. Yeah. You can only let them sell. You can't let them buy. Ooh. Market manipulation at its finest.
Yep.
Criminal activities.
Beef.
That's crazy.
Not nerd beef. Real beef.
This is real beef because when it comes to money, mans are really beefing.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, you even had Ja Rule fucking.
Ja Rule was in it?
Ja Rule posted, they're trying to steal our money, blah 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 blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You are not the slogan for this.
Slogan.
You had your Fire Fest or whatever.
Bro. You're not Jay-Z. Come on, G. That's hilarious.
It's just like, I don't know. Like,
give him his props though. He had a song with Ashanti.
He's not Jay-Z though.
He definitely knows, but he had a song with Ashanti.
Man, 50 Cent bought out his whole front row just so nobody can go to his show. All right.
50 Cent's so petty. I love it.
Yeah, the vitamin water deal came in close for that one.
Straight up.
That vitamin water commercial is probably my favorite thing. Where he drinks it, he spills it on himself. Good advertising. That man is a genius.
Real, man. Like
another like Hove and 50 are two of my favorites. I don't know if they're both from New York and it's just that attitude, but they both have that. I'm gonna run an industry, transition to the next. You know, like 50 had into club, like had hits for 2, 3, 4 years, is living off those residuals. Now he went into making shows. Power, probably
clothing,
Power.
Yeah,
G Unit. I remember being in grade 8 trying to wear double XLs because that's what my boy 50 was wearing. Yeah. Like wearing the Rockaware because Jay-Z had Rockaware and G Unit was 50, so I'd have like half my closet one way, half my closet. I'm not trying to start no beef,
shouts out to those guys. It's crazy where like inspiration and like just that type of stuff can come from, right?
That hustler mentality.
Yeah, you never think that we look up to
people that you sell dope.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like I don't look at it that way, but some people do. It's like,
you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do, but I'll applaud you for getting to where you're at. Like from selling whatever it is, dope, music, to selling $1 million worth of shows or liquor, whatever it is. That's very, very dope.
The hustle
very
is
inspiring. Hustle's on. We're all hustlers here, so we enjoy stories like that. Word.
No, and it's like, and all this like GME stuff is like brought up a lot of interest too in stocks. Like I don't know the amount of messages I've got on Instagram the last couple of weeks of being like, yo, you need to show me how to do this, blah blah blah. How do I invest? Like, and it's nice. It's cool and all, but it's just like, don't put all your money into GME. Don't put all your money into these one kind of companies. If you're gonna do investing, do it smart, do it right. I know I'm saying like, don't diversify, focus on a couple of things, but like, if you're not gonna focus on the stuff, find a couple of industries that are gonna be good and diversify between those two. Like, I know we've been talking about this for a couple weeks, a couple episodes, but like, I think next week would be a good time to introduce the financial fantasy like stuff, and we'll talk more about how to actually make a financial investment portfolio, right? How to do that, be safe, experience like the gains, negate some of the losses, like how to make your portfolio in a way that it goes up in good markets, doesn't go too much down in bad markets, because that's the name of the game. You look at baseball, these guys aren't hitting 100% of the balls they hit. If they're hitting 66% of the balls they hit, they're an all-time great leader. You don't have to be 100% for 100%. You just got to do better than 50%. And that's the name of the game at the end of the day. You can throw 100 things at the wall. If 50 of them stick, you're gonna do fine in life. So
Raz is spitting right now.
So-
Right now.
Scriptures.
I wish
Yeah.
I could sit here and listen to like 3 more hours worth of that game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
yeah, so
We should focus on that.
yeah, we'll focus on
100%.
that specifically. It's just like we'll teach you guys all how to have fun, plus be financially literate.
Word. So, if you listen to this whole episode and you heard our guy Raz spit bare game on the stocks, you got a lot of game just right there. But make sure you tune into next week's episode because we're gonna be spitting a lot more game on stocks. Everything. We'll jump into cryptocurrencies, all of that stuff for you guys.
ETFs. all that.
E
ETFs.
We'll talk about it all.
NFTs. We'll talk about it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the coming
NFTs.
episodes.
Oh, they're not ready for the NFTs yet.
Right now, we're dedicating a full episode to this next week.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
down.
yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
just-
talk about NFTs when I find more about NFTs. All right.
I
I have no.
honestly do.
I've
I
heard
need to
this
as
has all
well.
been all the
Yes, no.
ETFs. ETFs. We got those. Yeah.
No, let's talk ETFs,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like next week's episode is gonna be nice.
Mhm.
I'm just glad to be back here
For sure.
talking
Feels great.
with you guys about
Missed you
know,
fucks.
nerd beefs.
I see you too much though, so whatever.
Great to
We're
see you, Hector.
talking. Yes. Yeah, it just feels good to be back here. I really needed this glass of wine
You
this week.
definitely did.
Hey, we're taking our time, all right, Joe?
We're taking our time.
You're not-
man.
are you
Like,
done?
for the
Oh,
long-
you're done this time.
we had a long week. We prepared for this grand reopening of the store here at Loma, and on top of that, we just had a lot of other stuff we had to do. So we're glad to be back in business. We're glad to be back here potting again with the guys, talking about stocks, nerd beefs, NFTs, ETFs, all of that's coming up next. So yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I want to take the time now to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Bottom Line Podcast. If you want to listen to our podcast on Spotify, on Anchor, check us out there.
Apple Music too.
Apple Music, we're on there as well.
Fucking anywhere.
Also, follow us on Instagram where we post a lot of content on what books we're reading, what news we're keeping up with, what wines we enjoy. So just stay connected with us, man. And appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week from the Bottom Line Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.